Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Into the Den. I'm your host, Jay Freeman, and I know what you're thinking. Jay, Jay. The Bruins haven't played since the Kraken game, and they don't play until the 8th. Why are you making a video? Well, first of all, it's my channel. I can do pretty much whatever the hell I want with it. Sorry, that sounded kind of dickish. But yeah. First off, this I am the one who makes the I'm the one who makes the decisions on this channel. So, second off, since we're at the All-Star break, we don't. There's not really much going on. So I kind of want to just give like a. I kind of want to just do like a little bit of a. A little bit of a season recap so far. Now, what is it? I have an entire freaking spreadsheet of like pretty much every single freaking Bruins stat here. Like freaking what is like first period, like goals for each period, how many power play goals, stuff like that. Even how many shots the Bruins took, how many shots were against, hits, and penalty minutes. I like to keep records of this thing just to see like where the Bruins are strong, where they're not. And honestly, if there's anything that this spread, I mean, honestly, I started it just as like a database of everything, of every part of like every single freaking every single episode name, so that I don't accidentally double dip. I feel like Steve Dangle also does that because what he's been doing this show for 15 freaking years, and he hasn't given up and he hasn't reused his titles, except for that one time that he did Boston, but he made sure to add Redux in it because we love to give Toronto a fucking heart attack. But anyway, the Bruins go into the All-Star break with a plus 11 point goal differential, 131 goals scored, 120 goals allowed, and they come in at a 26-14 and 3 record, which honestly it's not that bad. I mean, sure, it's not like the 2018-2019 season where we're top of the division, top of the entire NHL, freaking President's Trophy winner. No, this team isn't like that, because this team honestly feels like they haven't really gotten an identity this season. And I was on StatMuse today because I have to say StatMuse is such a good site. A lot you can ask it pretty much any question in about like who leads blank in blank, and you'll get an answer for it. You'll not just get an answer for it, but you'll get like the top 20 in it. It is a fantastic thing. And I looked up who the top 3 for the Bruins are in time on ice this season, and and I gotta be honest, it didn't really surprise me who it was, but more so just the massive disparity. Number 3 is Brandon Carlo with 812 minutes and 24 seconds on ice. Number 2 is David Pastrnak with 817 minutes and 21 seconds on ice. And number 1 is Charlie McAvoy with 975 minutes and 49 seconds on ice. That dude spent pretty much an entire endgame viewing on the ice longer than anybody else on the Bruins. And unlike endgame, he actually manages to utilize that time properly, effectively. But enough ripping on Endgame. Charlie McAvoy has been a fantastic player for the Bruins, but I kind of want to praise two players so far this. I kind of want to really praise two players this season, and I want to praise Oscar Steen and Urho Vakanainen. I mean, anyone can look at Steen and say, pretty much most people are going to be pessimistic and look at Steen and say like he's a subpar answer for he's a subpar answer to center depth, and honestly, you're not entirely wrong, but you're also not entirely wrong, but also, like, who would you rather have? Jack Studnicka is quite possibly one of our biggest failed prospects. I think that this organization has done him very wrong. I think if there's one prospect I can see us slipping at the deadline, it's him. And speaking of the deadline, that's something that I want to get into a little bit later. And yes, I'll eventually do an entire video about the Bruins about the Bruins at the deadline. But honestly, another thing that this spreadsheet proved is that whenever I criticize the Bruins for starting being slow, I wasn't wrong. The Bruins, out of all periods, excluding overtime, the Bruins have scored the least goals in the first period. And I mean, sure, that's 41 in the first to 45 in the second to 42 in the third. But still, well, when the even if the disparity is really slight, the fact that the team doesn't even look ready in the first on half the nights, and the goal scoring kind of proves it, kind of makes it a little bit of an iffy subject. And yeah, I feel as for shots for and shots against, and the Bruins are averaging about 35 shots a night on against 29 shots it's allowed a night. It's a good thing to have. It's not necessarily a bad thing to have the goalies is on their toes and just constantly warmed up. I mean that honestly is how Connor Hellebuyck usually works. Is like you. I was talking with my Jets fan a little while back. I was talking with my Jets friend a little while back, and we were talking about like Connor Hellebuyck is fantastic when he's getting 10 shots on him a period, but if he's getting like five, then that's a little bit iffy. But still, I honestly think that if this team, one underrated, I said this in the Kraken video, and I wholehearutely stand by it. And a very underrated problem on this team is defense. And it's honestly something that's sort of like the Seattle Seahawks, is that the problem that everybody gloms onto with them is the offensive line, but nobody talks about because I mean they got Russell Wilson and running back and forth every single running for his freaking life every single game. Meanwhile, when he's not on the field, when the defense needs to take the field, they're giving up huge plays after huge plays. That's essentially the game. That's essentially the same thing here. Like, yes, center depth is absolutely a problem, and so is just general scoring depth. I wholeheartedly agree with the idea of bringing Pasta down to the second line to and putting Craig Smith on the first. I also wish that that maybe we switch up lines a little bit more consistently. I feel I feel this is one thing that I will consistently praise Sheldon Keefe on, and he is the thing that he is the most consistent on is you are barely ever going to see the same line twice in it 2 nights in a row. Sure, he will often put some do like freaking Bunting and Michael Bunting and Andre Kasha with Austin Matthews, but he'll often do the top line of Marner, Matthews, Nylander, but he'll also sometimes do something weird like that Bunting and Kasha pairing that I was talking about. But anyway, the I want to talk. I do want to talk about the about Earl Vakanainen a little bit. And this was quite possibly one of the best coming out parties is for him. And the dude, for any Bruins prospect as of late, the dude has been a really good defensive asset, and he is playing well on the top four. I think the unfortunate thing is that the Bruins have is sort of the same thing that I'm going to criticize is them for later in this video. Management is going to make his stay a little bit confusing because if the Bruins want to get anything at the deadline, they're going to need to give up either good prospects or like a shit ton of first round picks. Like Jacob Chychrun is one player that's getting talked about a lot, and Arizona said we want something like what Vegas got for Jack Eichel. Well, to me, I hear that and say, okay, that's a starting caliber player. That's a starting caliber player, likely on forward with top 9 potential, with that can play anywhere in the top 9. In your team's best prospect, a first round pick and a second round pick, and my mind immediately goes to Jake DeBrusk and Earl Vakanainen. And my mind immediately goes to Jake DeBrusk and Earl Vakanainen, and I think that's also where Neely and Sweeney's minds are going to go if they want to pull the trigger on that. I would like Jacob Chychrun in a Bruins uniform, but I don't know if I want to give up Earl Vakanainen for him. Give up Carlo? Maybe. Give up Studnicka? Probably. Give up Vakanainen? I don't know. The Bruins have struck out on so many draft prospects that just having Vac pan out for us and in any way, shape, or form is a miracle for this team. But the other thing that I want to talk about is the re-signing of Tuka Rask. I talked about in my video that I thought that this re-signing was kind of short-sighted. And at the All-Star break, oh my God, I could not be any further from lying there. Tuka Rask has started 4 games, and he has given up. He has given up a lot of goals. Hold on, and I'm sorry that I don't actually have the freaking those stats on hand right now, but yeah, Tuka Rask is not a good. Tuka Rask is not in his in his normal form. And I know Tuka usually takes a few weeks to really break in his skates and become the Vezina caliber goalie that he wasn't in 2014. I get that. I very much get that. The problem is when you're in. The problem is giving him a full no movement clause is seriously screwed up this team. Because now we can't send him down to Providence to really to foster any sort of steady recovery. We signed him and threw him in at the deep end, and all of a sudden, oh my God, Carolina has 5 goals on us in the first freaking period. But the Bruins, but honestly, but looking at the chart, Ullmark started 53.5% of games, while Swayman and Rask make up the other 47%. And honestly, between them, I would absolutely pick Swayman. Swayman has been great, but yeah, management, yeah, they screwed up horribly there with Rask. If they were to give Rask that contract with simply a no trade clause, then yeah, I would love that. But giving him a full no movement clause, what the hell are you thinking? But anyway, I think, but as for the next few games that the Bruins have, they have the Penguins, the Hurricanes, and the Senators to be for the next 3. Honestly, it's going to be weird. I think this is the first time the Bruins have played the Penguins, and this will be the first time the Bruins have played the Penguins all season. And Crosby, Malkin, and Gensel are all playing at a very, very high level. And Chris Letang, oh my God, I don't like Chris Letang. I'll just say that I don't like Chris Letang, but he is playing out of his goddamn mind this season, and it's hard to not be impressed. I don't think the Bruins are gonna come out of that 3-game stretch looking pretty, especially because the Canes have the Bruins have played the Canes twice this season, and they've lost by a combined score of 11-1. And out the freaking set the 6th freaking day game of the season was the first time the Bruins got shut out. And also, because of that early season skid against teams like the Panthers, the Hurricanes, and the Maple Leafs, I'm just surprised that the Bruins have yet to fall under 500 all season. But as for being optimistic about the rest of the season, I can see the Bruins slipping in at a wild card spot. I think Florida and Tampa have had a death grip on the top 2 spots of the division, and Toronto's just been playing great. I mean, shit, they beat they decided to make the Devils their bitch out of spite for going down 4-2 to them. But I think the Bruins' upside this season is second round exit, like it usually is under Cassidy. It's a second round exit. What's their downside? Missing the playoffs and entirely, and they don't have a bad enough roster. They don't have a bad enough team to get anywhere high in the lottery. Who do I think that the Bruins should go after during the deadline? I think Jacob Chychrun and possibly Tomas Hertl. I think if you put Hertl in Boston and give him center duties, is not only is it gonna be a really fun second line with Pastrnak, Hertl, and Hall, but it'll feel like the Bruins actually have some identity. What do I think about the rest of the prospects that the Bruins have right now? Fabian Lysell, I am very excited for, although again, Sweeney. I don't if the second Sweeney gets out of Boston, I will feel a lot more comfortable because the longer that Don Sweeney is GM, the longer that I feel that he's gonna trade Fabian Lysell for a box of packing peanuts. And as for Johnny Beecher, I am hoping to God that he doesn't turn into another Jimmy Vesey. Not in playing ability, but more so in just the fact that just in the fact that that like he got drafted and then because he decided, you know what, I'm going to play all 4 years in college. After that, he was an unrestricted free agent. Just please, we need the talents of Johnny Beecher. Jack Studnicka, it's been way too long. It's been way too long with him, and I think that we should try at some point to move him. As for other guys like Jack Ashan and I think he's honestly doing. I think that Jack Ashan is not bad. I think that he honestly has decent seventh man, seventh defenseman potential here, but anyway, I think that is going to be it for tonight's episode of Into the Den. Thank you all so much for watching. Click like if you like, click subscribe if you really like. Down below is still the GoFundMe for Jake Thibault's paralysis recovery. And tell your friends that the video about me, the video with me shouting about the Hurricanes game for 4 minutes on end is now the most watched video on my entire YouTube channel. If you don't count that one video, short of me making a dude, that's why you built like a meme and with the ending being the Scott the Waz theme.